We're live.
We're live. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Hope you're having a wonderful Saturday morning. Getting a little R&R, a little weekend relaxation. Uh, as you could see, me, Malcolm, and Alex is going to join us shortly. Are not fortunate enough to be able to do that because
No.
we've been up all night, all morning, breaking this whole thing down. And there's a lot to break down, guys. There's a lot going on, a lot happening, and that's why we're going live today. So we're gonna have Alexander join us also. He's right now actually outside in Ukraine right now. He's gonna be joining us any minute. I want you to take this opportunity while we have a few seconds right now to smash those hearts. Take that little box right there, start spreading it. We have a lot of info, so let's try to get as many people in here. Let's start spreading the word. Get your coffee. I'm with you. I've got my tea. My tea's right here. Always have green tea. Grab your coffee. Grab your tea. Malcolm has his, and we're gonna break it all down. So while we're waiting for Alex, Malcolm, let me set the stage for everybody. Let me
Okay.
bring you guys all up to speed and how we got to where we got to, and some of the important parts that some of you might have been busy during the week and not have seen Malcolm's or my Substacks or so I'm going to catch you up. And if I miss anything, Malcolm, jump in. Let me know. So here we go. So Donald Trump, we talk about all the time. It's all about the optics. For Donald Trump, there we go. We got Alex coming in. Let's just give him a second.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, Alexander. Welcome, welcome, brother.
Thank you. Thank you.
You good? All right, take a deep breath. I know you're running around over there. You got a lot of things going on. I'm gonna bring everybody up to speed, basically, and then we'll get into all the breaking news and everything that everybody's hearing, and we'll break it all down. So a week ago, well, not a week ago. Let's start from the beginning. I mean, Donald Trump has always been playing whack-a-mole when it comes to Ukraine. We've been always telling you that Donald Trump has been doing deals behind the scenes through Steve Witkoff with Putin. The relationship is strong. We write about it, we scream about it. We tell you that don't listen to the media when they start trying to jump on the bandwagons like they just did again right now. Because what Donald Trump did today and yesterday is he pulled off the ultimate media shift. He has accomplished to do what he's been trying to do for the past 3 weeks, and that's take the attention away from the Epstein files, take away from the breakup, what's going on here, take away from his gerrymandering and attack on our Constitution, trying to take away congressional seats and arrest Democratic congressmen and senators to speaking out for truth. So there's a lot going on. So he pulled it off. So let's get back to how this all began. All of a sudden, you guys remember Donald Trump came out and said that he went from 50 days to 10 days. He put this ultimatum that he gave him 10 days. That 10 days was up yesterday, just so you understand. So we get the timeline going up. So he gives him 10 days and comes out and says that he's going to do secondary tariffs. The media jumps all over it and says, Donald Trump has shifted. Melania is telling him that Ukraine are good people. Donald Trump has now all of a sudden found some heart. The media is all over it. He's going to go after Russia. He's going to go after Putin. And we sat here and told you that's not happening. Because what was really happening was Donald Trump was negotiating his crazy tariffs behind the scenes, and he was having problems with two countries, China and India. It just so happens that those two same countries are the two countries that are buying oil from Russia at freelance. So he goes out there and says, I'm going to go put secondary tariffs on any country that buys oil from Russia. The
Right.
media is all over it. Oh, this is great news. India's decided I'm going to stop buying oil. You have all these headlines, but what really happens? All of a sudden, Witkoff goes to Ukraine. Well, I mean to Russia. Well, while Witkoff goes to Russia, the day before that, don't forget another thing we don't talk about anymore. Remember the whole nuclear submarines Trump sent over there
Right.
all of
Right.
a sudden because Medvedev said something, all of these. all of this was being done because he needed to take the attention off the Epstein stuff. Because what you guys happened 48 hours ago, we broke right here on Love Remembers, was about the dinner that Vice President Vance was going to have to not only get the story straight and with the whole Maxwell narrative, but also very importantly, which nobody talks about, that we spoke about, is the Dan Bongino problem. They have a
Right.
Dan Bongino problem. They need to corral their troops to get out. And all of a sudden, we broke that story also. So Trump needed to do the alternate. He needed to make this shift bigger than anything. And what does he do? He announces that he's going to meet Vladimir Putin out of all places, Alaska.
Alaska.
I can't wait. We're
This
going to
is
get to Alaska.
Are
I
we
mean,
surrendering Alaska back to Russia?
I
Is
mean,
that the announcement?
this is insane. I mean, and the media is all over it. It's Trump is now going to, and there's some deal. But here's the kicker, folks. And Malcolm, I wanted to let you know. So I don't know if you got a chance. I didn't get a chance to speak to you, but what my sources overnight and what we've been talking about, I wanted to share with you also, Alex, is that we spoke about a little bit yesterday. Is how this was structured. So Putin understood, they're playing the long game, obviously, but he understood that he's losing, that his economy is going to shit. He needed to be able to figure out some way to keep what the land that he took in Ukraine, stop the fighting in the meantime to save his economy, because the number one things he's trying to pull off from Trump with this whole Witkoff thing that we've been talking about for months is power and control of the energy sector over Europe. They want to lift all the sanctions. They want America to lift all the sanctions. They want Russia to become a major power player. They want to get Nord Stream 1 and 2 back into play. They want to take over control of all the power over Europe and get Ukraine out of the way, put it on a hold, and then later, once they get strong and long enough, take the rest of it over. Because what will be left over, it will be just a landmass. Because
Right.
if they get to keep what they keep right now, you're talking about the majority of the minerals, the wealth of Ukraine, and not just the landmass. So we're going to get to that. So now Trump pulls off this ultimate grift. He goes out there and says he's going to meet with Vladimir Putin. But in the meantime, this plan was hashed by Vladimir Putin. He hashed this plan, gave it to Witkoff, told Witkoff, and Witkoff, you got to understand, is Vladimir Putin understands one thing that Witkoff and Trump have in common, and this is some of the stuff I want you to talk about, Malcolm, in a little bit,
Yeah.
is how Putin is a master manipulator. He's a
Yes.
KGB. That part of it. So he feeds on other people's weakness. What
Right.
weakness the Witkoff and Trump have is their lust for power, their lust for money. Exactly. And Putin knows that. And that's what the carrot he dangles around. So he said, Witkoff, what I'm hearing from my sources, folks, that this literally was a conversation Putin had with Witkoff, where he convinced Witkoff that this proposal, that we are speaking about, the stopping of the war where it is right now temporarily, Russia getting to keep the land, Ukraine succeeding, we're going to get into all of that type of stuff, was a good thing. That this would be good for Ukraine also, that the Ukrainian people are tired of the war. He literally convinced Witkoff and Trump that Ukraine will be happy to take this, that Zelensky only has to push it through his parliament, and the people will stand for it. Again, underestimate. Witkoff has no idea. Trump has no idea about the Ukrainian people, the geopolitical. So that's why that's why Putin could do whatever he wants. He could tell him and feed a story. So he feeds him the story, and we're doing a little story time right now with Lev. And Witkoff comes back here, and the plan is Trump is the one, because remember, the new breaking news was that Trump has given Russia a deal that they could live with. So the plan now comes that it comes out of Trump. So Trump gets the credit because he wants the Nobel Peace Prize. That's all he cares
Yeah.
about. Not
Crazy.
saving lives or nothing. He wants the credit like he made, because now he thinks that Putin gave him this master plan that Ukraine is going to accept, and this is going to be the peace plan. And now Trump makes the announcement that we're going there. And I was really worried, I'll tell you guys for a second, because when I was watching Trump's interaction, first of all, at that comic of a press conference between Azerbaijan and Armenia, the way they played Trump like a fool, I spoke to some of my sources yesterday. I'm sorry, Malcolm and Alex, but they told me that Putin and people were pissing in their pants watching how Aliyev, the Azerbaijani president, and the minister of what's it called, Armenia, played him, just praising him. Absolutely, let's. We're ready to sign the Nobel Peace Prize right now. Let's. We want to be in the front row with you. And and Trump sitting there saying, it's not about the Nobel Peace Prize. It's about
Oh no.
peace. It's a. I mean, that whole thing and watching these two. I mean, Trump has no idea about the history between Azerbaijan and Armenia. He has no idea. Talking about you're going to be friends, and if you don't get along, give me a call and I will straighten it out. Folks, this is when I say he's putting on band-aids all over the world to try to get this peace, like in the Middle East and everywhere. And I say these are all volcanoes. And there's no peace anywhere. It's just basically, showtime. This one completely, I can't even explain to you what's going on here. The showtime and the way they're playing. I mean, a Trump corridor. They've named the corridor after him, the Trump corridor in between the.
What?
TIPP. TIPP.
Yeah, Malcolm. I mean, you can't make this shit up. Like anyway. So this is where we're at, folks. The good part, and I'm going to end it off, and I'm going to pass it on to you, Malcolm, right after that, and then to you, Alex, is I was worried, but tonight, after speaking to my sources and watching Zelensky come out and finally speak, because I really thought they got to him somehow by maybe waving that, NATO, that will give you, maybe we'll revisit NATO, we'll continue army. I mean, some kind of bullshit for him to try to go push it, to try to stop it. And I was so worried about it. But after hearing from my sources, Zelensky say, this is all complete optics, complete bullshit. Trump and Putin are going to have basically a picture, a conversation. They're going to come out of there and they're going to basically say Zelensky doesn't want peace because this is a great deal. Zelensky wants what's it called? And that's going to be the propaganda move. And mark my words, we will get to where Trump again cuts off all military aid to Ukraine and walks away. That's what we're getting. So here we are, folks. Malcolm, that was a mouthful. So I'm going to pass it out to you, my brother.
Okay. This is very clear to me. I tweeted about this pretty angrily yesterday where I said, this should be very familiar to all of you. It's precisely what Trump did in Afghanistan. Look, this whole thing of Witkoff having, the 90 days with Russia, then cutting it down to 10 days. The 10 days was really to set up a head of state meeting with Putin. This whole thing for Trump was he was going to play hardball with Ukraine, then softball with Russia. And then, when Melania started getting on him and kids started getting killed, because apparently to them, no children have been killed in the last 3 years, right? Until just recently. So he decided he was going to try to play the KGB master manipulator, a man who literally's job was to flip vulnerable people due to their insecurities, personalities. You cannot beat Putin at this game. He listens to his intelligent advisors, educated analysts. He has an entire spy agency that managed to flip the United States. So, what's the end state here? Now Trump is doing the full Afghanistan here. There have probably been secret negotiations where this platform that the Russians are going to leak. Trust me, before anything happens in the next 48 hours, the Russians are going to leak that Steve Witkoff has agreed to give up all of the territory. Even if it's true or not, they're going to say it. And I understand from reporting, part of this was not a ceasefire to end the war, but a truce, a pause, which would solidify the combat lines and that entire 1,100 kilometers, half of Donetsk, half of Luhansk, half of Kherson, half of Zaporizhia, and all of Crimea will become Russia's. This is what Trump did in Afghanistan. He held secret meetings, woke up one day, turned over Afghanistan to the Taliban, released 5,000 terrorists from prison, right? And then those people went in, invaded Afghanistan, and knocked the country down in 6 months. Trump is insane. He is all about, he thinks now that the ultimate humiliation of Barack Obama and the highest thing you can get in the world other than the presidency is the Nobel Peace Prize,
Yeah, that
which he's been angling for since 19 fucking 87. Okay, when he wanted to do nuclear weapons, disarmament. And to be quite honest, Trump could get a Nobel Peace Prize if he took down all American land-based and air-based atomic bombs, right? Disarmed us by 3,000 atomic bombs. And everybody would go, oh, that'd be good. But what he's doing here is a trick. This is a setup. The setup is simple. When Zelensky, like he said yesterday, goes, no fucking way, no negotiation on our land, our people, our lives, our destiny without us, Trump is going to completely flip on Russia. The quid pro quo here is Trump wants access to the hundreds of billions of dollars of frozen Russian sanction money. And now he's going to go back and he's going to fucking bully Zelensky. Trust me, it's schizophrenic the way that he's doing it. Schizophrenic in the sense that he's hearing fucking voices inside his head telling him he's going to get a Nobel Prize, right? He's bipolar in the sense that he can't fucking figure out who to support. But let me tell you, his daddy, Vladimir Putin, is going to remind him exactly of who he has to support.
Oh, absolutely. No, we're gonna get into. I got some
If
stuff.
I were him, I'd bring the fucking videos with me. I'd bring all the P-tape videos, right? Say, oh, yeah, by the way, remember since 1988 when you came here in Moscow? This is a video of you fucking every person, including your wife. Because the KGB had all that since 1988. And the FSB inherited it. So manipulating him. And one last thing, all he's got to say is, when we fucking break out of here and those sanctions are lifted, you're not getting a fucking done. That'll hurt Trump and Witkoff more than anything.
I love you, man, and I understand, but it's
I'm reading the comments, by the way.
I know. I'm going to tell you one thing. It's more. It's these guys. It's deeper than that, Malcolm. What I've been hearing overnight.
Tell me.
This meeting that they're going to have. It's all staged. It's going to be all pleasantries. It's going to be all lovey-dovey. It's meant strictly for optics, for two things. To continue because the plan that was put in motion over a month ago about delaying and taking Ukraine out. This is just part of it. This is part of the next stage of basically cornering Zelensky and Ukraine into a position where Trump could walk away completely. And also because remember now you have all of Europe, not before. If you think about just think about the picture about a month and a half ago, how strong Europe was standing behind Ukraine, how strong you had France, England, Germany coming out every day against Trump, against Russia, standing with Ukraine. You don't have that now. All of a sudden, now you have the photo illusions of pictures of, Trump in the UK, Trump with the Germans, Trump, what's it called? All of a sudden, you don't see the Germans, the French, and the standing up. We don't see those press releases. We don't see all that. Where's all the military aid from all over the NATO country just flowing into Ukraine? You don't see any of that. Yes, there's some weapons coming in here and there, but what I'm saying to you is Trump and Putin, and this is where Putin is a mastermind. They've been able to in the past month and a half take away already, basically walk back and put Ukraine into a corner where now, then this is the final stage where Trump was just waiting for this, and he used it because of all of this Epstein stuff that has to all of it correlates because he needed something huge, he needed something big enough, and this is the only thing. Even him scaring to arrest Obama didn't work. Him scaring to indict half of the Democrats didn't work. Comey calling, none of it. This worked. The past 2 days, that's all. You don't hear about. I haven't heard nothing about Epstein except for the meeting in Russia with Putin, and just like you said, for the next few weeks. In the meantime, they're trying to get Bongino in track.
Yeah.
Go ahead, no, go ahead, Malcolm.
I really don't think that this is going to work
Oh,
on
it's
the
not going to
Epstein
work.
front.
No, it's not going to work. I'm just
It's
giving
going to
you
be
the game.
side by side, almost split screen with Epstein. Because you know some shit's going to come out. There's just no way.
Oh no, I agree with you. I 100%. It's not going to work. 100, and we're going to get into all of that. I'm just giving you the layout of where the thinking is and what they're trying to do. Because and all reality, listen, Putin understands that Ukraine is not going to accept this deal. Putin
Right.
understands what the results are. You know it, I know it, and Alex knows it.
It's worse than that.
It's Trump that doesn't understand. It's Witkoff. They're the ones that are confused thinking. In their mind, Putin is the winner. Putin is going to win. And just think about some of the concessions they're talking about in the deal. Is that, Russia wants that the sanctions all to be lifted. Russia wants to become the major player in the energy sector again. Russia
Right.
wants to take over the energy. That's what this is all about.
I have a question.
Yeah.
And well, maybe you guys can answer it. How do they even imagine Nord Stream 2 pipelines ever coming back on? The Europeans are saying, no fucking way. That thing's dead.
Give me
Go
a
ahead,
word.
Alex. Go ahead, Alex. Take that one. I'll give that to you.
Nice, nice to see you all.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody that's following. I believe it's worse than that. I believe it's and Malcolm. I want your opinion on that because I know you did a lot of research on that.
Mm.
This is a mastermind that started the moment that Trump won. And I have information that there is a possibility that there is a lot of Putins already, and he's not just dealing with one guy. He's dealing with the whole Politburo that came up with a master plan of how to get you to keep on approach until somebody makes a mistake. And the moment somebody makes a mistake, the Russia is going to move in for a kill. I'm talking about any deals or whatever, and that's what they're doing. And they promised him a lot of things. They promised him a Nord Stream 2, and they promised him a lot of deals on minerals, and they promised him that they're going to help him against China with all the minerals and everything else. And he bought it all.
He's a
He bought it
sucker.
all, and he's going all in, but he's dealing with the entire Politburo. That for the past 70 years is all he's been doing is trying to bring the whole world around the finger. I'm talking about the former Soviet Union. Same
Right.
players. This is all a game, and that's why when Trump came in, they start pushing on bombardments, on rockets, on shaheeds on Ukraine because they want to get people exhausted, they can keep on pushing. And when yesterday they deal, that you and I spoke about that, when they brought these 4 points 5 and 6, it's okay to go to NATO. It's okay to get the weapon during ceasefire. This was a setup saying, okay, now we gave you the deal you always wanted, and Ukraine refused it. So I believe that this whole thing is the biggest problem right now is Ukraine. Because not just Ukraine, Europe understands also the game. Believe me, Europe are not dummies. They especially being not in the game, they outside the game. And when you're from outside, you see a lot better what's going on. So this is the move, not just against Ukraine. They're trying to get Europe and Ukraine set up because that those 6 points saying that they could be eight. But what did Trump said at yesterday press conference? That, oh, we're doing good. Europe is paying for everything. We give him weapons, but Europe didn't have to pay nothing no more. And again, yesterday he mentioned that 350 million he gave to Ukraine, which is nobody ever acknowledged. It's 100 and something. But he keeps on pushing that. And he said yesterday that they're giving the weapons and Europe is paying for it. So when he put that point number 6, that there will be a support for Ukraine if there is a ceasefire, he already pinned that on Europe. He already pinned it on Europe, and Europe knows that.
Mhm.
The biggest problem for them is Zelensky, because they knew Zelensky was going to come out and say, read article number 1. We do not give up any land. You're 100% right. The real siege are going to be happening within the next 4 to 5 days, probably, or within a week. You're going to see what they really put together. But what they really want is they promise him Nord Stream 2. And Europe, the only way they can do it is if Europe take number 18 sanctions that they just did, they have to cancel them. Because in those number 18 sanctions against Russia, is Nord Stream 1 and 2 will never work again. So it's very contradicting, and they are trying. The Russians are trying to play the game to Trump and get the whole Europe and Ukraine and come up to the way they want it. This
And
is the way I see it.
and just to add to that, Alex Malcolm, about the Nord Stream 2,
Mhm.
what I'm hearing the plan about it is also is it's part of what the pitch to Witkoff was, that America is going to be part of, with Russia controlling energy in Europe. So Trump is looking as a win. Part of this whole deal is Russia wants America to lift all the set. Trump already started doing the work by trying to, remember, in Canada he said Russia should be part of the G8. We should be doing more trading with Russia. I don't know what he wants to trade with Russia except for minerals, oil, and stuff like that. This whole, what I'm hearing, it's forcing Europe to be able, not overnight, but forcing Europe in a strategic play to eventually get back to, again, being owned by Russian gas, Russian oil, and Russian into the region, and with Trump supposedly in on the deal.
Oh, I find this fun because it's almost like they live in this alternate universe where other people don't exist. Like, I don't know, the European Union or the individual nations. And he really, when he made that comment to the New York Times that he is a master of the world, right? Or leader of the world, he thinks he's actually playing fucking Risk and that he can move the pieces around the board. Europe is not going back to Russian energy. They've learned their fucking lesson here. All right? They'll buy more windmills than to fucking have to take energy that can be cut off, and then you have to give up Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia. That's another factor here that I think that people aren't considering with Trump and this stupid story. If there's a fucking truce, all that does, every day that there is not combat, allows Russia to rebuild its army.
Yep.
All right. And next, they may go to Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia if Trump guarantees them NATO won't intervene.
Well, this now now we're talking, Malcolm. This is what I said. Europe is going to be held hostage by Trump just because of, this is why the tariff game is starting. This is why this is all a setup to be able to, for them, just like Trump, come in and give him an ultimatum.
Right.
Well, you're going to do this, or we're going to cut off this, even though you don't want it. It's a push. It's crazy to what they're trying. And again, this is not Trump masterminding this. This is
Right.
not Trump has no idea. This is all, like Alex said, and it's not even Vladimir Putin. This is the KGB machine that's been left over from the Soviet Union, that's been transformed into the FSB. It's a whole machine. It's not one person, Malcolm. You know that.
Right.
Yes, Putin might be the head, and Putin might not even be the head there anymore, for all we know, because we know for a fact that there's several Putin doubles and triples that have been meeting all over and different places and different things. So we know that for a fact. That's been part of Russian strategy for years and years, to have body doubles and stuff like that. So we don't know even today, is Putin sick? Remember all those conversations years ago, how sick he was, remember?
Mhm.
All of a
Yeah.
sudden that stops. So again, when we say Putin, when I say Putin, at least, I talk about the KGB machine.
Right.
I talk about, the old hierarchy. It's like, the mafia, the four godfathers, not just one individual. I'm talking about the people and it's not one individual, it's a system.
Right.
And that system And that's what Trump is going up against. They know everything about Witkoff. There's a reason they brought Witkoff in.
Everything. And they know this guy is all about the money, all about future deals.
Yep.
Right? The guy wants real estate. I wouldn't be surprised. Trust me, no bullshit. If fucking Trump Tower Moscow comes back up.
Oh, absolutely. Listen, guys, not 1,000,000%, because you have to understand, a guy like Witkoff, when they do business, they use offshore entities. These people are professionals in hiding and funneling money and doing. I wouldn't be surprised that I mean, just think about this. All the business that Witkoff's son is doing with the Trump kids in this cryptocurrency. You're going to tell me, I want everybody here to sit for a second and think that there's no Russian money involved in cryptocurrency? They're one of the biggest. They got Putin back in the day that was what he was gearing up as much cryptocurrency as possible for that's part of what even drives this war machine. You're telling me these oligarchs, this push for AI and all of this, where did all that money come to fund the Peter Thiels, the Elon Musks? And it was the Russian oligarchy. It's all their money. They're all partners in all these. They own pieces of all of this stuff. They're all intertwined in all of this. And you're going to tell me that while Witkoff is sitting, see, you got to understand, I've been that Steve Witkoff. I've gone to these meetings. I've gone to and it's not just a meeting. When you go, it's the meetings before the meetings after the meetings, the dinners, the lunches, the breakfasts, the different people that come to meet you because before you meet the main person, and all of those meetings. You know how much business is being offered and thrown and manipulated before you get to an actual meeting?
Mm-hmm.
That's what the shit that's going on, that people aren't even talking about. All the deals and see, it's like, the way things get done. It's like, you know what? I can't talk to you about this. Here's my son. My son deals with the business now. I'm right now, I can't deal in business. So you speak to my son. Just what they were trying to pin on Hunter Biden, unfortunately, which was completely not.
It's all there with his fuck.
They're doing they're doing it in straight out open sight. That's what I'm saying to you. So the deal is every time I promise you, every time Witkoff goes to Russia, every time they go have these meetings, every time you see him walk around the Red Square with all the security, going to dinners around. Trust me, I tell you, I've been there. So many of those dinners. The way they try to wine and dine you, the way they try to appease you. They know from the waiter to the busboy, they're trained to know your weak spots, to know what you are, to make you feel that you are so comfortable, to make you forget that your room is being videotaped, audio taped, to make you forget that every place you walk into, that your driver that they gave you that is your friend, your buddy, that's telling you secrets, that not to go there, don't, because you're going to be listening to, all of a sudden he's your buddy now you could trust. Your interpreter that you've never met before.
Right.
It's a whole setup. It's a whole system. It's a whole system. When you walk into it, that you're walking and you know better than anybody, Malcolm, the way that system works. So we're just knowing how that works, being there, imagining sitting back and knowing that what Witkoff is walking into, and how he's being surrounded, and how he's being pushed and given and wined and dined, and from every the way it's being done, they're speaking his language, and now. This was also, you know why Putin said we need to meet immediately? Because when they called Witkoff in there, Putin sat down and this is one of my sources tell me, I can even imagine how the conversation went because I've been to so many of them. He sat down and said, tell Donald, I have what he needs to change that media cycle. We're going to change it. We're going to shut the fake media up. We're going to do a meeting. Tell him I'm ready to meet him. Set the meeting up. We're ready to go. Put it all out. We're going to do a peace deal. I'm ready to meet with Zelensky. Blow it up. Change the media cycle. Guarantee you.
Yeah, I believe that.
That's the type of shit they were not sitting there talking about no peace deal. They weren't sitting there talking about how, what's it called? Putin and Woodcock weren't sitting there discussing, oh, well, this land and this land. No way. They sat there with pleasantries. They sat there, complimenting, talking about how he gave him the what was that? The Russian medal of whatever to hand over to
Friendship.
spike it
Yeah.
to the CIA agent's mother that fought for Russia. Did you see that one?
Yeah, goddamn
crazy.
kid is the son of a senior CIA officer. He goes to Russia, joins the Russian army, eats a fucking drone, and they're sending fucking medals back to the United States.
With Witkoff.
Witkoff.
That's what
I shit you not.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying to you, because that's what the meeting was. The meeting was all about pleasantries. They sat there, they wine, dined, pleasantry, walked on, because the real conversations don't happen with Vladimir Putin and Stephen Witkoff. The real conversations happen with Kirill Dmitriev and Witkoff. Before they meet with Putin, after they meet with Putin, all of that's being worked out. When they sit down with Putin, it's like, hey, how are you? How are you? I love you. Tell Donald this, send the president this message. We respect him. He's, the fake media, we know we're dealing with this all the time. We stand strong with them. This is the type of shit. And he sits there like this, Witkoff, and then gets on the phone literally right away and says, hey, Donald, he's with you. Putin is your boy. He got your back. This is what's happening. Go forward. We're going to blow this up. Meeting that said, change the news cycle. Here we go. We're doing meeting. And meanwhile, people are like, what the hell is going on? And Zelensky's like, that's why I was like, wait a second. I didn't agree to any of this. The Ukrainians are again now like, wait a second. Again, you're meeting with, we're not even at the table. So what I'm saying to you is, this is such staged, what's it called? And sometimes I feel like I'm really like in a twilight zone, because I close my eyes and this is exactly where I was 5 years ago. Exactly. I could tell you exactly how we sat there, how we spoke, how they tried to offer me. I would sit there, Malcolm, and before I was supposed to meet with, I remember, I'll give you a perfect example. I remember when I went there to meet, before even Zelensky came in the picture, I went to meet with Poroshenko. And when I went there, the first quid pro quo he sent me there to do was to tell Poroshenko that he would support him in the elections if he was going to come out and do this whole thing. So this is how it starts. A lot of people don't even know that. So when I go there, already the word, the general prosecutor, Yuri Lutsenko, brings me there. So the word already spreads that I'm there on behalf of President Trump to meet with President Poroshenko. So I'm supposed to meet him in 2 days. The 2 days prior to me meeting him, meetings are being set up for me with all of these oligarchs and powerful people that want to be my friend all of a sudden.
Oh, yeah, they're your
That all of
buddies.
a sudden are offering me pieces of, different deals and stuff like that prior to me meeting with Poroshenko. Then, after I meet with Poroshenko, for the next day and a half, I have more meetings set up by more oligarchs. By more. So when I'm talking about corruptions, I saw it first. I know how they do it. So what I'm saying to you, and what they're doing in Russia right now with Witkoff and with Trump, it's like the whole system. They got him like in box, entrenched.
I think there is. I think there is more to it. I would not be surprised if they got to Witkoff, because
They
Of
got
course they got the Witkoff.
100%.
I'm almost
He
positive.
kisses Putin's ass every time he walks in the door.
100% they got to him.
Not only got to him, I believe the Vitkov is 100% double. So he plays both sides, and he always tries to fight the middle. Also, the second thing is, yesterday when Trump came on and said that, I spoke to Zelensky. There's a lot of things he cannot do, and he's trying to figure out how to do it, and he's gonna get it done because we're gonna need it done quick.
That's what scared me. That's what scared me. Yes, I told you.
not only you're 100% right, because what he was doing at the same time, he was setting up our president, because he want people of Ukraine to believe that Zelensky is doing something wrong, and he want to start stuff up. And the only person that can come up with such a strategy are Russians. He will have
Thank you.
never
Right.
think.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you. I was going to say that, Alex. That was not that script was not written by Trump's inner circle. That script that
No,
he set out was written by Vladimir Putin. Because when he came out and said that, because it got to me also, Malcolm. I started with this conversation because when I watched him and
Mhm.
when he used those words and said, I spoke to Zelensky and he wants to do it, but he needs to get approval. And now he has a short period of time to go get that approval. I swear to you, I called Alex right away. I said, Alex, I'm really scared. I think they got to Zelensky. And when we did our live yesterday, because I said to him, I could see, I mean, those are different words. That was different terminology. And now after today, this was all Putin.
yeah.
He scripted it for Witkoff. Witkoff came on and told him
Yeah.
this is what you need to say. Put him in a corner. You're
This is
100% right, Alex.
Russia's position. I'm sorry, Trump's position is Russia's position now. We've been saying that since day one that Witkoff went over there and started saying, mimicking every word that Moscow wanted out of there. No one's got to Zelensky. Zelensky has too many freaking medals that he's giving to parents of dead soldiers to ever back down. Yeah, a few months ago when he said, I'm open to peace, I'm open to these things, it was when it was existential, when the United States, when Trump in was saying he would end every bit of military intelligence aid to Ukraine. He can't pull that fucking lever anymore. In the last 5 months, all Zelensky has done was shopped around Europe, and Europe can fill in now. And it's costing the United States. In the last 2 days, we lost $50 billion in F 35 sales. Switzerland and Spain have just announced they're not taking the F 35. Fuck
And
you,
India
goodbye.
also. India also backed out of a deal. They put the deal on hold.
We're just screwing ourselves. But Trump is thinking, oh, I'll get Zelensky, I'll hardball and beat him with a stick, and I'll be over in Moscow and I'll beat him with a stick. This shit ain't happening. Here's what's going to happen. The war is going to continue. Ukraine is going to wear the Russians down because they're building 1 million fucking bomb drones a year now. Okay? And at some point next year, I don't know when, the Russian line is going to crack. And I'll tell you something, I rarely mention it, but my first 3 months in the Ukrainian army, I wasn't in the Ukrainian army. I was with GLUR, Ministry of Defense Intelligence. Okay? And we were sitting around thinking up very clever fucking shit to hurt the Russians with. And one of those things was fostering mutinies. A couple happened, but they're starting to happen all over the place now on the Russian line. Guys killing their fucking commanders, guys being sent out on murder missions, men shot to death in bunkers by their own forces. Let me tell you something. That force is going to break. The Russian army is going to break. They have low morale, no combat support. They're not getting paid. And one day we're going to wake up in some light probe by some special operations group or SBU. Someone's going to probe the line. They're going to go, we can go all the way to fucking Luhansk or Donetsk here. We could crack the Zaporizhia line, and then suddenly you're going to see 1,000 fucking tanks come out of nowhere, and they're going to hit just like we did in Kharkiv offensive in 2022. I saw them mass 300 tanks in 48 hours, and I never saw them fucking tanks before. They came from all over Ukraine. Now, this is a different war. It's static. There's more drones. It's hard to move. But at some point, the Russians are going to show a weakness that Ukraine is going to exploit. And Zelensky, why would he stop now if that meant surrendering the war to Moscow for Trump? I'd walk the fuck away from U.S. weapons, right? I'd walk the fuck away. And I'd start issuing out fucking sticks whatever we got to fight with. but I wouldn't accept anything from this lying fucking rat bastard.
Hey Malcolm, let me ask you because we have right now close to like 1,800 people watching this. First of all, I want to start off by telling everybody keep hitting those heart buttons, because also take that, like our pal Michael Cullen always says, take that little box in that corner and spread it wide to everybody. Make sure, because the information you're hearing here right now, you're not hearing in the media, you're not hearing in the newspapers, you're not even hearing in the social media, because you're hearing it directly from the sources, and that's why it's so important to keep growing our platform. So I ask of you, for those of you that have subscribed to Malcolm, myself, and Alex, thank you. For those of you that haven't, that are new to this platform or just watching, please subscribe to Malcolm, subscribe to Alex, and please, for those of you that can, become paid subscriber, because a lot of you ask, how can we support, how can we help? That's the first line of defense. Your first line of defense is, supporting by becoming a paid subscriber to our platforms, to Alex's platforms, to Malcolm's, to mine, because that gives us the ability to stay independent. We don't have big corporations, we don't have the big media, we don't have Elon Musk billionaire supporting us to come out here to fight truth to power. The only way we're able to do it is thank God to this incredible platform and each and every one of you. So that's why, please keep doing it right now more than ever. Spread the word. Go bring 3-4 more people to this platform and spread the word far and wide. Now, Malcolm, while we
Yeah,
have all these people here,
I'm
can
looking
you
at
give
their
us
comments now. Go on.
give us a good understanding why Ukraine cannot, from a military perspective, stop and just give what it would basically do. What would happen in the next 6 months, a year,
Yeah,
basically? Like what would it do between this? How would this war be over with if that's what the case is?
let me explain.
Yeah. Don't give away the land yet.
I was just talking to my guys yesterday in Kharkiv, you know, and what's happened is when the war first went mobile, right? It was a defensive war. Russia came in, Ukrainians fixed their lines, Russia got slaughtered, went as far as they could, then had to withdraw because they were being slaughtered, right? The worst thing a fucking Russian could do at night in the first 3 months of the war was go the fuck asleep. Okay, that's when the partisans were coming out at night. That's when the special forces were coming out at night. That chick with her Lada driving around with freaking jet, with light anti-tank weapons with NLAWs was out there destroying things. You couldn't go to sleep. So by June, the war had slowed down to where there were generally fixed lines of confrontation. There was no mobile warfare. Then July and August, we started having what we called the head against anvil attacks, where the Russia would attack a city. First one was Bakhmut, right? And the Ukrainians would create a defensive line whose sole function was to allow the Russians to keep pounding their fucking head against an anvil and kill 20, 30,000 of them. Then the Ukrainians would allow them to have that few kilometers in that leveled town, right? Then it happened again. No, or was it? Yes. No, it was the Severodonetsk was first, right? Oleksandr. And then
Yes.
Bakhmut was the next one, right? We let Russia wear themselves out, but the 1,100 lines of the war were generally stable, right? People were talking about trench warfare, but no, you can move vehicles behind lines. Drones hadn't developed that big yet. 2022 September, the Kharkiv counteroffensive, which I took part in, was the first mobile warfare battle like World War II, right? Tanks breaking through by the hundreds, taking all of Kharkiv province back. From that point onward, it went to trenches. And we're still there. There's so many, my guys were reporting to me yesterday, there are so many drones flying left and right? Ukrainians blast everything. The Russians started with tanks. There's that cartoon, right, that Frionis did. The Russians started with tanks. Tanks got wiped out, went down to armored personnel carriers, wiped out, went down to the loaf minivan, right? Their VW vans, got wiped out, went down to the golf carts, got wiped out, have reduced themselves to two men on a motor scooter or a motorcycle. got wiped out. Russian advances right now are 3 to 5 men maximum. That's as far as they can move, and they get killed.
True.
So the line is frozen right now. But Russia is really hurting. They don't get money. They don't get food. They don't get support from their family. The Russians throw their bodies in there to die left, right, and center. And the Ukrainians are professional, defensive, kill the Russians when they see them. Things are so bad, sniper operations aren't being carried out because the Russians have FPV drones with fiber optics too. So they're just doing defensive operations. But at some point, the Russians are far, far, far weaker than the Ukrainians. And something will open up for exploitation, or we'll invade Russia again.
And crazy. Alex, I mean, tell us what you're hearing in Ukraine and what you're feeling, what's going on with this whole situation.
Well, I just came back from Kharkiv, as you know, and I've been spent half a day with reconnaissance group. The guys that they're really out there, and I concur with what Malcolm said 100%. And not only that, it's like remember what happens to the dog when the dog bites the human. They put him to sleep because he has a taste
Feels
of
the
blood.
blood. If he tastes the
Yeah,
blood, he's gonna
yeah.
bite again.
So with the spider web one operation, Ukrainians tasted the blood. Now, in the past couple of weeks, they've been hurting the oil refineries. They've been hitting airports. They've been hitting logistics. And now I'm hearing the rumors that the spider web 2 is about to kick in because they already tried something with that. So Ukrainians found a way. We found a way how to cripple them. All we gotta do is send 5 drones to the air around Moscow, and the whole Moscow's crippled. Nothing's flying, nothing's moving, everything's stranded. So after this almost 3 years of war, we figured out how to cripple them. And right now, Malcolm's right. The old days, the war was you have a billion people army, you have a lot of tanks, you have artillery, and you push the front. Not anymore. It's a drone war. You cannot move no more than 5 people. If you move more than that, they wipe you out. So right now it's a brain game. But for the brain game, you gotta have the balls, you gotta have the guts, and you have to have a desire to fight. So you have to sit there in the trenches.
have
You have to sit there and Ukrainian has it because Ukraine is fighting to survive for its freedom, for its kids. Over there, they have no idea why they're fighting. The Russians, they drug them, they promise them this, they promise them that, and when they come to the front line and they see the guys that are already in the trenches and they already been fighting for a few months, and they tell them the real shit, they say, "Oh my God, how the hell do I get out of here?" And this is the difference in the armies, their army and our army. We got the balls, we have the desire, we know what we want to get. They have no idea why they're fighting. So eventually, within time, they will crack, as they are cracking already, because my source is telling me that the guys that don't want to fight, they electrocute them, they beat him up, they get him undressed and leave him outside. They pull their teeth. Oh my God, what they do to the people that they want to go fight, their own people. So this is a recipe for disaster, and it's just a matter of time before the whole thing explodes, and they're gonna start running. And plus, the Ukrainians, like my Malcolm said, they also do their job to push that to make that happen, because so I believe the victory is behind us regardless. The humanity will prevail, democracy will prevail, and the evil will go down, and we will win.
Amen, amen, Alex. I just want to say to
Glory to
everybody,
Ukraine and glory to our heroes.
Yep. Героям слава.
Героям слава. I just want to say to everybody out there, I know a lot of people have just started joining and joined late. We will be reposting it, Malcolm, within the next 20, 30 minutes, hour. Once we're done with this, Alex, Malcolm, myself, we will be reposting it, sending it out to make sure, because what we've spoken about today, what we've discussed is extremely important. And that's what we need each and every one of you now to do your part and go out there and now spread this message far and wide. Take this video, send it to everyone for people to understand what really is happening, what is taking place behind the scene, the cover-ups between Trump, Putin, trying to keep your eye off the ball by distracting you with all of these different maneuvers. At the end of the day, it's all about the same thing. When it comes to Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump and people like Steve Witkoff, it's all about the lust for power, the lust for money, and the lust, and it doesn't matter at what cost. So, well, Malcolm, take a couple of minutes,
Yeah.
take us home, and then Alex, take us home, and then
First, a bit of admin. Everybody who is watching right now, I want you to go up to where that gray box that says Lev Parnas, Malcolm Nance, Oleksandr. Hit it, push it, and you'll see all of the subscribe buttons. Oleksandr, I wasn't subscribed to you. All of the subscribe buttons will pop up automatically across the bottom. Hit all three of those and subscribe to all of us. I'm trying to get to 100,000 followers. Lev's trying to get up to 75,000. Oleksandr's trying to get up to 12. I mean, subscribe so that you can follow these things. Also, share what you've learned. These are hard times. You notice I'm not on MSNBC anymore. I was on MSNBC for 7 years. And, as the terrorism and intelligence guy. But interestingly, when I joined the Ukrainian army, they were like, oh, we don't want that perspective anymore, which is weird. Okay. I have combat experience on the ground in Ukraine. I was with Ukrainian intelligence as well. You're not going to hear that from anybody else here. There's no one on Twitter except for Nate Vance. Nate Vance was in a GUR International Legion team. And you're not going to hear that perspective anywhere else. And Lev, Jesus Christ, you were part of the fucking machine. Oleksandr's out there taking fucking shaheeds for us. Hit the gray box at the top and press subscribe for everybody.
Amen. Absolutely. Alex, take us home, brother, because we got a lot of things we're going to be coming to you guys. So make sure to put your notifications on. The day is early. The weekend just started. There's a lot more coming, and we're going to do a lot more work for you today. Alex, take us home, brother.
Well, I want to thank everybody for your donations for the mission for Kharkiv, because we are delivering. We did over the weekend. We just sent the last packages out, and I'm gonna be posting some videos and some pictures from the happy people that got that. Oh, you have no imagine how much great you did. And I just want to thank everybody. Thank you for your support. People that we delivered to Liman. I mean, Marcus, you know where Liman is in Kharkiv region. So we delivered to Liman, and the people that got it, they say, "What do we do?" I said, "Nothing. This is American platform, voice from Ukraine. They're helping you." Says, "Do they need do they need to sign something?" I said, "No, just keep on fighting." And they were so grateful. They were so happy because it was like out of nowhere. They did not expect that. So I want to thank everybody for being on this channel, for listening, for restocking, for spreading the information, because there is a lot of bad things going on in Ukraine from the Russian side, and the more people know about it, the more people are going to wake up, and eventually the all this uh, unhuman things that they doing, they will stop. And like I always say, democracy will prevail, the good will prevail, and our kids can live in a sunshine, beautiful world where nobody has to worry about the missile coming down. Nobody has to worry about sirens. Nobody has to worry about heads, because today is Ukraine. Tomorrow it could be any point in the world if you don't do something about it. So to make sure that it doesn't become like that, that it is free to live in this world. We all need to stick together, and we need to stay strong. Thank everybody. God bless everybody. Slava Ukraini.
Heroyam
Heroyam
slava.
slava. God bless every one of you. Have a wonderful weekend. God bless America and Slava Ukraini. Thank you, Malcolm. Thank you, Alex. Stay safe, guys.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.